lunch?
Yes, ma.
Council, we will proceed.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Mr. Sane. You had said in your statement that you're responsible for the management of all the revenue books of the council. Can you tell us? Can you tell us what you mean by this? What does that entail?
Okay, revenue earning books or ning director of finance yeta printing ay samana officer to. Ikatara fangal officer to. So aka certain number of bondije, maybe sometimes 10, sometimes 20. I didn't langa register CIBR okono. Collector ka sign wala to kata do wala la. Wala kata ntol bulo kono. But natara kama aka kata ngome be na fe abe kata la fangola marola kono. Aka mendin tola angkawle enta CIBR okono dan collector ni na ka sign woldo yata na defana batala ka sign woldo inde famo batala ka sign bu ko kono ka fay ko CIBR.
Certainly, all these books are under the custody of the Director of Finance. But normally, whenever the collectors are ready to go for collection, he used to issue some of them to me, like 20 of them, or more than or less than, for me to distribute it to the collectors. But after collecting them, I sign and I hand it over to him. But he too signed before I hand it over to him.
When the Director of Finance is assigning these 10 or 20 books to you, do you sign for them?
Ako sign na be men di da ita ko me bugol men da fo mo wala ko me afo nyamen ako fo ka sign ne ba ni batala.
Ani director of finance na de bugol boni nam printing ataka receipt be tanam printing ne. Example 100 books na tanam printing anana ta be ka tara tele bur alamaro. So aka 10 or 20 books leta o 100 books solto ayo din to langa enta CIBR kono. Collector kata o CIBR kono. Bari nimba tala jelen ka sign amanka ko nate 20 dindala o 10 dengan dula so ka sign da men ka fo nga 20 receivable no o 20 o 10 men ka tate bulun ka be enta CIBR kono then momo ba tala mina ya ta woto ya sign atafana na be du ko kala ba tala ja ba sign na jele.
Normally when he is issuing them to me, it doesn't mean that when I'm receiving I need to sign, no. But normally when the books he gave it to me, the amount of books he gave to me, I just enter it in the CRB. So normally, those who are collecting those books, like the revenue collectors, whenever they are taking each book they sign. For them, they sign before taking. But for me, I don't sign when taking books from him.
Na banda na dori ko sa buru patega tendi na o 20 nga ofana enda je ko tege. Ni auditor na that CRBR e ka wala nyininka e ka do ko ge wala.
So certainly, when those are finished, then I go. He gave me another. He issue another one to me. But when the auditors came, they are the books that are given to them for them to make their findings.
So the revenue collectors collect the GTR books from you.
Ako amunta ko ni nami kanila wal ni wal nata wala men kata lempolta wal ka buku ni ko nyinta ay tebul.
Ah ta CRBR kono ya sign.
Yes, that's correct. They take from the CRBs and they sign.
And when they've used up those GTR books, do they return them to you?
No, ni ya do ku foi pare da momo ta ka tara fangol bulu ala maroto.
Normally when they are doing the job, each of them have to have that book is under your control until that book is just elapsed. But at the time of the work, everybody is controlling your own book. It's on their custody.
So that's what I'm asking. When they finish the book, when they've used up all of the book, do they return the book, the empty book to you?
Ako sa ala ni ngaro menti ko be wo buku dingol nyai tata foi banda ko buku dingol ni na banda foi ka murundi tele ya
ka murundi ka katare fa wala maroto fo jani auditor na dala muy ka sambaji.
No, they don't bring them to me. They keep them on their custody unless when the auditors came, that's the time they bring them.
Unless what?
When the auditors came,
okay,
then that's the time they bring them.
So these revenue collectors, when they've collected revenue, say for the day, do they bank the revenue that they collect?
Ako sa ni nukumu ni nami kanila ni dara e namo ko e ta lungo men e ka lungo men e ka namo ta lungo ako ni parka da dam ta la ka namo ni foi ka samone tele ama wala ka ke nyati
revenue collector ni collection o ke to la je daily collection la ke every day ni jira na kana office le ni na office ye sara director la kon na de director sa foi alta bank पर na tra payment be je me alon ko nyanda ka ke lagi lafta ka fuel sang wala lafta ka evo envelope evo carton sang wala meeting beje me along nyanta sponsor like allowances ido ikaw bondi ko dotole then ya fa balance ni sam bank ala bank slipo muta and in that that expenses receipts I will fana muta.
Normally, these revenue collectors, whenever they are done with their collection, they normally bring these monies to the office for the director to advise them whether to take it to bank or otherwise. But normally, sometimes when the council have expenditures or events to do, they normally talk to the revenue collectors the amount they need, and that is taken out from the said money, and the remaining is deposited at the banks.
So the Director of Finance or the CEO, they don't require the revenue collectors to bank their collections every day.
Ako so amunta ko CEO anin Director of Finance amunta ko wolu lungolung ni nam kanel tata ila ko dota wa lungolung e kana ka sama na itolle ako me itol fangola nyinin karo wala ila foroto.
Every day le kata bank ni collection of hani misal fe 5000 na solo every day namina bank le ni ngata ran dépense office men nyanta kala e ka be sama bank le in dépense office men nyanta kala like 500 or 1000 iba bondi la jele toni yow sama bank je fengo men sang yow risro ta ite ya ko do asante ta men na ko do la ya risro ni muda anila bank sli woni.
Every day when these revenue collectors are done with their collection, they normally whatever they have they take it directly to the bank, unless, as I said earlier on, if there are errands at the council which are needed to be sponsored by those said monies, so those monies are deducted from the said amount collected. So the remaining balance is deposited at the bank. That is every day.
So when the revenue collectors deposit their collections at the bank, who do they bring the bank deposit slips to?
Ako sa invita na foi kodo sa bank ya deposit ye. Ako sa bank slip so ni kami sa manay kasama jumale.
Bank slip ko kata ipangola bulu for 1 week, sometimes 2 weeks. Ni mina submission ole nakana.
Those bank slips remains on their custody for 1 week or 2 weeks. So whenever they are coming for submission, that is the time they used to bring them.
Who do they bring them to when they bring them?
Ako ni bina submission ala ni kasama nang jumale.
Kana fe ntole officer ni ana fe ngela cash bu ko jube ni na momo na submission ke sama Director of Finance le ya nga fay karna submission ola asa fonye ko ala transactional check ala bank slips and ala receipts men ala expenses not long ayake.
They normally whenever they are doing their submissions they do come to our office. So after I will take all this to the Director of Finance and show him, then he will say you can go and verify and make everything, if at all are normal, then you can sign. So this is what I normally do. I bring them to my office and I go through them to compare with the receipts they have. That's normally what I do every day when they come to our office for submission.
So you go through the cash book and look at what's in there against the bank deposit slips.
Ako sa amunta ko cash book ko ning ite ka wala ka jube anin deposit slip sol mi ko e bodinam bank ka compare ka hayma ka jube fo atata jola le fo afanta nyola.
Because example ninga cash book ko 30,000 bije bank slip o 20,000 then the other 10,000 wanya takala receipt already and that those receipts obey nyanta sign na le by the CEO because ntolla je CEO da malaga order di ka ko fendo sang wala ye fendo kana fen sang.
Certainly, when they come for submission, and I realize that at the book there is, for instance, an amount of 30,000, and on their slips, bank deposit slips is about 20,000. So the remaining 10,000 sometimes is instructed by the CEO for them to make some events or make some expenditures, but he, the CEO, will write a receipt, and that receipt is entered, because he is the only one who used to give directives about what to do about the monies.
So the CEO will tell them to pay for things, and then they will come back and the CEO will provide a receipt.
Akamunda ko CEO wala kakango dila ka foye ko komen ni lafta femo men kala ka foye alnanga bonda le nyige bod di pare wala kana ate apra receipt dila.
No ning ibot na collection wala ning ko do nata.
When they are from collections and they came with monies.
Okay, example, ko take A4 packets and 500 one packet.
For instance, they are instructed to go and buy A4 size packet.
In A4 sang ya sanda me receipt dile la.
So when they go wherever they bought this, they will be issued with a receipt.
So but si wala be order la because nindinge order receipt nyenta sign no si wala be order la tai pre o send okay ni receipt na de ba sambala endorse on top of receipt kaje ko ngantale ngani endorse pour any sandro you keep your receipt.
It's because of the CEO is the only one who used to instruct them. So whenever they come with a receipt, they go directly to CEO, and he will sign the receipt and give it and give back to the receipt to the collector, who is to keep the receipt under his custody.
So when you're verifying the cash book, and there's a discrepancy of this 10,000 that you're telling us, do you note it in the cash book?
For instance, in cash book or 30,000 BA, the bank deposit slips 20,000. Ako sa nying wili tago memo 10,000 otimen tutaje. Ako ne afo akatanyame. For ite kasa fe cash book to kaita ni ko 10,000 o memo ndung akata tena nata kete wala yin ne use ya deposit yin to.
Yalo receipt will be given men yalo go fengol sanda wala.
Yes, because of as I said, there is a receipt which they issued that indicate what they've bought.
So receipt ningo signed receipt by CEO warning bank slip 20,000 dollars somebody director ya. Now if I go sign 20,000 that's bank slip I will deposit 10,000 of it, well sanda bagas will endorsed by CEO, then director will receive in kundu. Because now confirm ko atalitali.
So there what I normally do, I took these things to the director of finance and show him that this is the 30,000 in the book and the 20,000 on the bank deposit slip. So the 10,000 remain, this is the receipt for it. So he entered it.
So do you close the cash books?
Ako cash book on your close level.
Cash book on your close le.
Yes.
Cash book on your close ta for abandoning ipareta wrong immediately kata internal audit layer of another be check directly be check internal audit fanaga be check le.
Yes, we used to close the book, but whenever we close it, we take it directly to the auditors. So the auditors too will check what we have checked until they confirm that it tallies.
Have you always had an internal auditor, or is this a recent development?
Pardon?
Have you always had an internal auditor, or is this a recent development?
Ako fo kabiri nundo nung alika internal auditor soro jele bang fo sign ali osoro.
Internal auditor mandala another what when I'm me back.
We just have him not a very long time.
I'm me back.
Not very long.
Was it this year?
No, I'm not this year. It's about 3-4 years back.
About 3-4 years back.
Okay. Now, when you're checking the book to do the verification, do you check the GTR books against the cash book?
Akoni be la haimaro kala cash book oni fo ni wa check kan ika GTR faram check de ba GTR. Ka wol faram check.
For you check the because even men check la about GTR or kono adunta cash book kono.
Yes, you must do that.
GTR be tick. Yeah, tick against the cash book. Kaje go FFM mark like you go 500 you tick the receipt book then you tick the cash book.
Yes, that is a matter of must. You must do that because when checking you have to check the GTR first, then compare it to the book so that it may tally or they will not tally. But you must do that.
Okay. So when you check the GTR book against the cash book, it's easy to see if there's a discrepancy. Is that correct?
Ako sign ni GTR check ani cash book oni check ni atraya je ko imang tanyola.
Okay, ninga sori taraje ngo report sama director financial nga fa ko nying ala cash book oni ala fengo ala transaction ala cash book is maybe 20,000 but the transaction I mean na fe it's about 17,000 so 3,000 different level then ka pass director finance layer at bana ningo I treat sign. Normally
when I come across such like for instance the book is the amount in the book is about 30 or 20,000 and that of the GTR is 17,000 and there is a balance of 3,000. What I normally do is I take it to the director of finance and explain everything to him. Then he can call the revenue collector and have a word with him.
So in that instance, it's the director of finance that will settle the issue, not you?
No, the book go settle no director of finance that malaga settle.
No, we don't settle that. It's only director of finance who used to settle that.
Okay. Excuse me. In your statement, you said that I can confirm that I have never received any physical cash collection from any collector, even though there are many instances in which the former director of finance, Bai Jibisala, authorized me to use his allocated GTR to draw receipts to the collectors when they made submissions to him, while he received the cash or bank deposit slips. Currently, the acting director of finance, Mustafa Jan, is responsible for all revenue submissions, As such, he does the verification of the collector's book and the issuing of their council GTR receipts. Can you tell us what you mean by the instances where Bajibis Sala would authorize you to use his allocated GTRs to draw receipts for the collectors when they made submissions, while he received the cash or bank deposit slips?
Akola ni kalmo alafta je sene anda bayri famala ko malo kalmo le mo yeme foto ko revenue collectors wala ni nama tala ni tata je jama ni nata alla director wala mjibi paji bi sala aka même foto wala ko aka foyte ko ni nyunu nata na risitol samna watara ko do nyun dinga bulu pour ite risitol fana juwe wala ya hay madan di ba samala ila director ya ko alafta je sene anda
ya wato do be ni collector na submission officer.
Sometimes when these collectors came from the collections or they came for submissions,
inatante ya ni bot na collection do inata futande mankela bugol be check le ba ninga be check ronka samba director ya.
so whenever everything is handed to me, I then go through and I check them. After checking, I take it to the director.
But director la personal book me aka sign from the CRBR submission of beka ke walela.
So the director is the one to sign the CBRC, and all these checks are is written from out of that said CRBC.
Collector me beka na collection la be submission la beka la director la buko me aka ka sign CRBR ko wala ka kuntu collector be ya attach la cash buko kono.
So normally all these collectors, whenever they come for submission, the director is have to compare all and write it to the CRBC.
So jama ning collector nada ning ya director ya trangira transaction be receive ngasam because sometimes nga for in physical cash kanalo ni bodna collection on.
But sometimes normally when they come with us with the monies, that's the physical cash to me.
So jandi kata bank ngasam director la kodo ni check.
But before I go to the bank, I took all these monies to the director for him to confirm, to check and confirm.
Ni ay la kodo check ni fembe je menya tasan ayasang na be check fa be talita asala bugo dina fanya ko restore do nyambe bi na domandi.
Now he check, and if there is a need to take some of the monies, then he take those monies, and the balance is all checked and signed, then I can write before taking it to the bank.
Atele kante authorize ka fanya ko na bukota restore draw career la authority ngala bukota because atele bukota mal ka submission.
Because he have his own book, but before I do so, he do authorize me to say now you make all the submissions on my book, and I do so, and after I pass the book to him because he is the only one who have that book.
I don't understand. Are you saying that the director of finance had GTR books that were allocated to him in the same way you allocate GTR books to the revenue collector?
Yes, very right.
Director of finance fancy receipt book also me along what like we use.
The director of finance have his own receipt of books that he only used.
All the revenue collectors be book also from that CRBR.
All these revenue collectors get their books from this CRBR.
And we pay the cash book also all revenue collectors.
And they all have their cash books. All these revenue collectors have their own cash
Director
books.
of finance are cash book also.
The director of finance have his own. Myself, I do have one. All my transactions are put in that said book, and it is submitted to him. And he too should submit to the main cash book. And that is the cash book, the main cash book, of which everything is recorded therein. But that is under the custody of the director of finance. He owns that book. That is how we do.
So let me understand. There's a CRBR book.
A CRBR book BA.
Okay.
Yes.
There's one that all the GTR books should be recorded in.
Yes, correct.
Okay, so there's the official one for the council, and then the director of finance has one for himself?
Yes.
Yes.
Now, are you aware of any instance where the director of finance had special or different GTR books printed different from the one that the council officially uses?
The director of finance atea fasun GTR kaitol sore recitol sotole mi yalon ko wonin council ta manke kilingoti.
Okay, aketa ha nga kalamuta and
yes, it happens. Yes, and I'm aware.
Do you know where, can you tell us about that?
Okay, nga kalamuta wale mu recitolu iko bring na conference center le man sa ko era council conference center kabiri nga yele tale yawri sol samana.
Yes, I'm aware of that. This happens when the conference center was open. This was the time he brought those receipts or books.
Birinta nga restore jabul nga yini nga ko ni restore ye bondi bintole.
For me personally, I interacted with him by saying to him that where did you have these books from?
Because the restore ni tola CRBR receipt, government printed receipt, and ni restore mankliya.
Because
the restore can I use?
The receipts that were given to us from the CRBR and these ones are not the same. So don't use these books or receipts.
Nga ko ninga lafta center conference center open na albe revenue collector tala alia bonin tolo kono alia sambaje ali government printed receipt from the CRBR ali odia ita do wala je akonje ko. And
I said to him that whenever you open this the time this conference center is open, what you have to do is, or normally what you have to normally do is that you need to take one of our revenue collector and deposit or take him, posted him there for him to do his job, instead of bringing this type of books.
So I enjabi nameng amang kontantara CEO fananoma.
But he responded to me, I was not happy. Then I proceeded to the CEO.
Dara okuma kilo ngol fo CEO fananka ko nale di bukol use center abekala problem multi nyato. Use.
And that is the same thing I said to the CEO. These books you are using at the conference center, later it is going to bring a problem, so don't use them.
So Imandangu started to use.
But still, they failed to adhere my warning, my advice. They just proceeded using them.
But in the moment for wala mnyindiko, ali momo sambaje na nyimbuko use je ninga ali ana fe pulka submission oge. Ala fe ko ntemanda malambulola.
But I said to them that anybody you take to the conference center and you give him this book, whenever that individual came for submission, me personally, I will not touch that book. Because these books are not council's book or the right books.
So imandangu ya sambaje ya start yemo sambaje ya start ka use.
They don't even adhere to my advice. They took somebody there, they give him the same book.
So
then we went ahead with our work. That is the collections we were doing so.
So what did you bring the former CEO
There was a time when the former CEO left Sise and the new one came.
Sidi nga fana commanding kay ko sign it na jang akonje ko ha kay ko member ke kan conference center lafta ya stop immediately because member ke kanji amang correct sama be problem o samara na council jan.
There I called him to and I talked to him that there are certain actions going on at the conference center. I want you to stop it. If not, later on it is going to create a problem here.
So nga fo it will be neko ko konte mo revenue collector ti atol mo director of finance al mo CEO ti atol la londo la bendala londo nyaato atol nyanta lonna la ko membe ke gante amang correct ba ni man nyanta atol direct la ka faale ko atol nyanta nyina kala kam ta ko ndila nga longa tolti.
There I said to him that although I am a revenue collector, but you are a finance director and you are the CEO, you have more idea than I do. So but you know better, as I told you, these things will never last. It's going to create a problem herein.
So CEO Toure atana da training je tara nyameng atafana continue wala bara atana da menga atana da cash bugo di particular revenue collector me jate cash bugo di wala.
And normally what CEO did was that there is a revenue collector there whom he have given the book to.
Because previously janna te kana cash book mandara nunje bari bi ngata na da cash bugo di revenue collector la membe je wala msidi Toure.
But before the new CEO came, there wasn't any cash book therein. But when he came, that is the time he introduced or he gave a cash book to the conference center.
So cash book ofana atafana nga fa nka ko ni be cash book galaje ni risito stop yen dan dollar risito ta wayni cash book ita nyola because wala nyanda enter cash book ko no nga fo sidi Toure le.
I'm sorry, are we guided?
Are you getting the evidence that he is?
Yes, he's explaining about what happened with the conference center and the other GTR books that were given to the person at the center, and that there was no cash book there before, and the new CEO came and put a cash book. He's explaining the difference between how they were operating the conference center with the different GTR books that were given. So the official GTR books and the unofficial GTR books. Am I right?
Yes, you are right.
Okay.
Yes, okay.
Okay, so nga afo CD Touré nga ko nyin kas bu gona tara je be registered receipt bu la tala ya attach collector membe je ya dia la okay wala correct because wala be account no la ni receipt do nyin amang correct amanya la ka use.
There I still advise him to say now you have implemented a cash book hearing. So but all I want is that you have to bring the real GTR books. If not, this one you are using later on it will not tally with this book. So it will make confusions or bring problems to this.
Nunata fo ayen ne kotake anin collector membe je nga fo fo nga ko ni receipt enda ila nyin cash bu ko kono this on non receipt ni enda nyin cash bu ko kono ina submission la ntia ndela kayto jube la fang because ni receipt lu malong ibota dame.
And I did not stop there. I went to the revenue collector himself who was responsible of the conference center. And I talked to him. I said to him that this book and the GTR you have, I told you to stop using these ones. If you use this one and compare it to this book, if you bring it to me, I will not touch it.
But he responded. And the CEO is the chief executive officer of the council. So I'm sorry.
The response he said to me was that he is under the directive of the CEO. So whatever CEO tell him to do, so he will prefer to do that instead of what I'm telling him. Then I apologize to him by saying sorry. I'm sorry to say so. I told him that it doesn't mean that I'm trying to or I'm lobbying to come here to the conference center. No, even I am told to come here, I will not come here, but I'm just advising you.
Because
Because what is happening here, for me personally, I know that it is not correct.
Submit more direct submit conference center la submission because treat because problem.
I then went direct to the director and I informed him that all these revenue collectors, when they are coming for submission, they come to you. But as I told you, at the conference center, the GTR they are using there, whenever they come for submission and you direct them to me, I am not going to touch them. Oh no.
So just recently the CEO Natana Interakumomoy I CRBR Risitota I di collectology a container cash book.
Up to this last time, that is the time the CEO healed my advice and he stopped those GTR which they were using, and now he gave them the normal council GTR. Now they are using those ones.
Ni residual believe use canning collector risto banda sianta akana official director of finance ya nana ra kai gonna risto bandale director ka finance ko sane kumandi na inde kumandi akonya ko ni kala risto bandale kai risto ala sira ko ma risto be waleto ngai risto ta ya dia laita because mba normal nak alfa na en kumanda pour ngana ndangu ben dangulale ba risto bukama maro risto bondi dame andu ma kala long andu na hajiro risto la ko because ngalo ko
the revenue collector who was in charge, whenever his receipts gone finished and he came to request for orders, I know where they are, but sometimes I am instructed by the CEO to give them one. But I never touch them because I don't know where they were made from. And I don't know how they acquire them.
Among the CEO, the director of finance.
Mr. San, I think you have really explained the issue of the GTRs and the receipt books. The receipt books that the finance director produced for himself and gave to you, which you said you did not touch and you don't collect from him, right? Is that the whole story about the GTR and the other receipt books?
Okay, Ninga residual menu use center. Na enda la cash buko kona kana conference center kana director ya submission ola. But not at any time director kan kumandi la ka fanya ko nyina submission ola. But the director nga ko nyingite imanya na residual kundulai.
Yes, give me.
Okay.
You have explained that and
okay.
we have understood.
Okay.
You are repeating yourself on what
Okay.
you are saying
Okay.
about the conference room, about the conference center.
ako amunta ko be
And
ko
the
mole se
receipts
kan kam para amunta ko nyul be fo
that
Okay.
the Director of Finance has given, and they are not the correct type, which is the GTR that is supposed to be purchased from the printing department. Now, were you using the ones that the Director of Finance gave you, which are not from printing?
No, haninte buka use.
So you use only the GTR?
GTR is buka ngawda mali use.
I use the GTR
Kau dah mari use,
from
ah.
council.
Thank
That is
you.
the one I use.
Ye visual media la ko imang malo berda mente buka use. Nama na use.
I don't use those GTR which has not
Thank you.
from council's GTRs.
Thank you. Thanks.
Now, Mr. Sana, you said that the recent CEO stopped using the other GTRs that had been provided by the former Director of Finance. Can you tell us who the current CEO is?
CDK Toure.
And can you tell us when he stopped using it?
I stop what I na amam me bag. Not actual date nyimba onte ofo no la jambari amam me bring restore
I
shop.
cannot be able to say that often here, but it was not a long time.
As in, was it this year?
Around January 2023.
Around January.
What was the revenue collector but council at Ataji?
This was the time.
January, February.
Around January, February this year.
And when did this CEO come to the council?
Akon yung CEO kutama watu juma latin ata do wala je council do.
2021 February mafa.
Around February 2021.
So, who was the revenue collector that was at the conference center? Is it Modu Sediba?
Ako juma la mo revenue collector to remember no conference center.
Modi Sediba benu je force but sai mo fula la beje anin la mi fat.
Sediba was the one who was there, but now
There are two number there.
Sorry, now they're what?
It was Modu
Sediba.
Sediba who was in charge, but now they are two in number.
Who's the second one?
Lamin Fati.
Lamin Fati.
So both of them are there together.
Ah, baby
Ako ito
je.
bele katrado ko la nyola je.
Baby je ha.
Yes.
And both of them were using the GTR books that the former Director of Finance prepared for the
Ako
conference
ito
center.
mo flow beka o GTR bukol da mi ala ko finance director of finance a menu da dano.
No, bilingo buko be use kanje Lamin Fati mantara je.
No, at that time Lamin Fati wasn't there.
So it was only Modu Sediba.
Modi Sediba, yes.
Very well.
Are you aware of the audit reports that raised the issue of the duplicate GTRs in respect of the conference center?
Ako fo ya kalam talebang ni investigation lo wala kisis lal men nata je wole complain ke wala query ke kaita diko ika duplicate lo use yele wala bo ila GTR
Modu Sediba le fonte bari ma kalam da auditor la.
I was
Bari
informed
Modu
by
Sediba o ya
Modu
fonye.
Sediba. I was not aware, but I was informed by Modu Sediba.
And do you know whether there was any issue of him having to pay any monies back to the council in respect of that?
Ako fo ema kalam telefo ate ya fa ne pura ko do ni jo me ya ko ni ko kama.
Ani ma kalamuta.
I'm not aware of that.
So the duplicate GTR books, when they're being entered, are they being entered in both the official council CRBR and the Director of Finance CRBR, or only the Director of Finance CRBR?
Ako sign ni jati esolo fo ka endament for director of finance la CBR for ani CEO la CBR.
Registered bugol ba?
Ah,
Registered bugol CRBR o men kilinta malbe office.
for
Kilinta
this
be office ika kawale.
RBR is only one in the office.
Bari bugol men beka order nam from printing or richro men ka DJ o katara director le bul. Wala ka bugol
But
ko.
these books are all ordered from the printing, but all the receipts are under the custody of the director.
So my understanding of the evidence that you had given previously was that the Director of Finance has his own CRBR where he enters the GTRs that he printed separately. And then there's another CRBR that you use as well and the Director of Finance uses, and that's the official one for the council.
No, official one for the council wakilinda mal BJ CRBR. Director ma fanso CRBR osoro. director ha cash book wala sura ta fonga cash book main cash book bara man CRBR sura me yalan ko ka receipt entaje.
No, the director have only the cash book, but he did not have the CRDR that he used to enter.
Ala cash book ni ala receipt of fata aka retire o cash book wala kono that main cash book o mu book bali it's a big book.
That's a big book, so whenever the
That's the main cash book.
GTR, he enter them on the CRDR.
But the CRBR is only one book.
We have only one CRDR, one book, very big book.
So then it's possible that the Director of Finance would not enter his own duplicate GTRs in the CRBR.
In the main cash book.
Or he would not enter it in the main cash book, but he would enter it in the CRBR.
No, CRBR ota enter no la kono because CRBR o mu bukole te me alongo. Receipt men bota na printing ika enter wala kono fa be bank mo batala jele. Wala ka account.
This CRDR is only one, and normally all these printing GTRs from whenever they came, they all enter them therein. So you cannot be able to enter another one which is different from this. But he have his own book different from the CRDR.
Sorry, we're going to go over this a little bit because I'm getting confused.
Ako after you said that because ni aju amanje faham no can explain.
Ha yalla membe je.
What is happening there is that
CRBR o ning director bu gota na printing ananata.
CRDR whenever whoever come to work and came,
Like 9,000 book requests from printing ya deal restore be deal everything another office abelandi.
whenever he came, even for instance he bring thousands and receipts, he came there, they confirm them and it's all confirmed.
Book used by revenue collector about collector from that CRBR because
Any book used by the collector should be collected from that CRDR.
batala sum demanding ka enter CRBR ko fa ba buka be din nanyola be demanding dila nga enter jang ngaw use ni collector men na ya yoto sabe date sabe ya sign tek do fana na tit ko fo ya ta fo banna bandanga.
He don't issue them at once, he give them bit by bit. Whoever came, any revenue collector who came, you take one, you write your name and sign and the number.
Okay, so let me just put this. When you order the GTRs from Gambia Printing,
Yeah.
they come to the council.
Gambia printing.
They come to the council.
Ako ka sama ng council yaje.
They're under the custody of the Director of Finance.
Yes.
Katara director of finance that bulu.
He enters the serial numbers of the books in the CRBR.
Yes.
Akaw number sol bele dundi alla CRDR.
Yes.
Now, anybody or any revenue collector who's assigned a book from that list
Yes.
will sign against it on the book, on
Yes.
the CRBR.
Amunta ko
Yes.
mo mo ni na furiye buko dila fuya sign go
CRBR
CRDR.
be ko.
Yes.
Yes ma.
So now those are the official books. Now, when the Director
All right.
of Finance got another entity or another institution to print GTR books separate from the one from Gambia Printing, when those came, did he enter those in the CRBR?
Ako the director of finance kabringa bukol samna mi yalo ko mambo Gambia public printing fengo nyindo anata function tan samna ako fo awol fana enter wo allow CRDR.
No ama enter no.
No, he didn't
Okay, so
enter.
those were not entered.
Ama enter.
He did not.
Now, those books were the ones given to Modu Sediba at the conference center.
Ako bukolo ye wole samanu modu seri ba conference center.
Ha.
Yes.
So he would make collections, enter them in those GTR books, and then bring those back to the Director of Finance to deal with.
Ako amunta ko sa nati modu seri ba na e dogo ke ay collection ke ay obukundi ngolta ay kol dundi wala ko ako na pareta ako sama ng director of finance ya.
Ha.
Yes.
Now, would those payments and those receipt books, would they be entered in a cash book?
Ako sa wo jorolu ani wo risitolu ako fo alikawo enter cash book oji kono lewa.
Director may fen enter ko no main cash book.
No, he did not enter them in the cash book.
Okay. So those monies that came did not come to the council, basically.
Ako sa amuta ko kodo men na to kana council to yala ji wala kana council ya.
Galo beri de nyeri solo use kan jente manda gi de ko because man ko man dia wala na manda ka ko.
Although when I observed that I was not happy, this is why I did not even join myself on such or try to know what happened because I was not happy.
So which director was this? Was it by Jivisala?
Yes, very well.
By
By
Jibisala.
Jibisala.
And you said that the CEO knew about it.
Ako inata fa je ko CEO fa na ko kalamtano.
Ha kalamuta.
Yes,
And is this past 8 season?
Pasit si kalamuta.
very well he was aware, past season.
When CDK Ture came as well. He was aware of this
ako
operation.
ke ture fana ni wo fana nata wo kabra nata wato mena fana yo kalamta rek.
fana kalamuta ha
Yes, he was aware.
And it's only in 2023 that he decided to stop it.
Amda ko nyina ne o ko al nata stop.
ha
Yes.
Very well. I don't know whether the commissioners have any questions before I move to something else. I do. Okay. So you said in your statement that you were queried about some undeposited revenue by the Director of Finance from your revenue submission totaling $86,945. You said you can vividly remember paying these monies to the former Director of Finance by Jivisala on separate dates with an amount of $55,945 on February 22nd, 2022. And $31,000 on March 15, 2022. Can you tell us about this issue of the money, undeposited revenue?
Ako ko don yinga kameng hay mateng ako ifango la statement ko no inata fako at least utamia ko ni ka ko do soto ka idile ko do tar ila do burlato ikana momenta ikana ikasa mana director of finance ya. So another for nangamo nyimia ko ifango ya fako ya samana baraba ke wati kiliti ko me wati jamalle ako alafta je senanda ako nyina ta kenya dile wala ya ke kadi ala dunya dile.
okay what time when you ndol kata group collection la
At that time I used to go for collection.
group collection la nintara group collection ni naranga ka fiscal cash le jomu kata bank
Whenever I go for collection, whenever I come, I bring physical cash and I don't take them to the
ate
bank.
fa ko nyego nana dal cash ko ngafata council wato men sometimes kata bank sorontale
He informed me, or he advised me that whenever I come, let me bring the monies to him because sometimes they have errands that they want to run.
so nin nara ninga cash nyin diala te kan dollar risto kundule akana cash bu ko kono den nim fano kata ka fini ko nim fano kata ba sambala bank le
So whenever I bring monies to him, so normally he will tell me, okay, now he put it on the cash book and he said that tomorrow or otherwise after I will take it to the bank.
wala nante nga submit na bu ko kono dame ate director na risto kundu ayadina nga samba internal auditor aya verify nga risto photocopy le nga di inquiry team la pour ka nyitandi la ko nte nga jole from my cash book
So whenever I gave him monies, normally what I do, I used to take the GRTs and photocopy them for me to assure them that I have paid the monies to him.
When did this happen?
Ako nyinga da wadi juma.
date nying fen ko nyimbe na cash book ko kono bari nga photocopy le nga di 30 something thousand and this 50 something thousand nga be photocopy le nga ko from my cash book nga copy di inquiry team molla le was yenyi ngale ko nyego this two monies ime jongo e ko nge jole ko te submit director ya nyinga da group collection and la restore ka use ga bi na nga submit because this banking fund am mele nyuni ya start da wato molu ade ya fansu treasury sur la office le nin dol na collection donc cash jole physical cash then nim fano ga do ate asamba ba
I photocopied them because when these investigators came, I was questioned about these monies. I said yes, I have paid these monies to him cash, and I have my bank, I have my receipts, and I have a photocopy all these monies to assure them that yes, these monies have been paid to him.
Do you have those photocopies here?
Ako awe bulu yebu.
photocopies nge di inquiry team le to na na di
I gave it to the inquiry to the
because nga cash
investigators.
book fa ngala photocopy with the receipts ko nga di la nyama that
Because
something and 50
even my cash book, they requested me to give them, and I give them all these cash books and receipts.
Are you saying you give this to the commission's investigators or to the police investigators?
police investigator men
Police
officer
investigators.
men na officer
Who came to our office.
wala ko nga copy nga di la
They asked me to copy and give it to them.
When was this?
Ako kada wadi juma.
this last police investigation men na
This last police investigation
men na
came
office
to our office.
inquiry team
So, do you have any other copies of those documents?
Ako fo e
no,
don so jeli.
for na cash book ko na dalo nga copy na cash book ko nga
Yes,
install la
unless my cash book, because those are copied from my cash book.
biri to ya bondi audit report yende inform ko nya gola cash book nga cash book di le ko nya samba ya copy di install la so nga samba nga cash book ko ta nga copy full be di install la
When they came, they requested them. Then I showed them my book. So I was asked to go and copy and give them the book so that I can have I give them the copy. For that I did, and I'm having the book.
You have the book here or you have it?
Ako buko niya be bulu jamang
cash book ko nyimbe mbulu
jang. Yes, I am with the cash book here.
Okay, so can you show us these transactions that you're talking about?
Ako for sure that the mole ba ni transaction or ka men foja.
sa mbe ma dan na fo si ma no de to ba pour ka ja taria statement on to date nyimbe jere pour transaction la date.
I'm appealing. If at all I could be able to have the statement so that
The date of
that will help me
the date of the transaction. Statement
to find the date of the transaction.
I believe you should have statements.
If he is finding it difficult, can we tell him to find that information later? Or what is he looking for?
He's looking for payments that he's supposed to have made to the Director of Finance amounting
Of
to
those
86,945. But I mean, if the chair thinks that we should let him look for it later, we can do that.
Is it his cash books?
Pardon?
The books he's looking into, are they his cash books?
Yes. Mr. Sane, the chairperson is suggesting that perhaps you look for that information later, and then tomorrow we can ask you about it again.
So that
you can find it.
Chairperson ka men foja ole mo na ko be ko la le bro so to no je sa je nyato sa ni no sama ni nata si tao ha inshallah.
Mr. Sane, is that all the cash books you have with you,
Yeah, these two cash
that you have been using over the period of,
council.
yes,
No, no, no.
they are not,
These two is from 2017. This one is from 2017.
yes, and it contains 2017 and what?
2017.
2017 to what year?
Recently,
Just 2017.
2017. Yeah, this one is from 2017. 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. All of them are here.
All of them.
There.
So you can look for them later, and then tomorrow we'll ask you about them. Now, how are salaries paid at the council? Is there any payment voucher that's raised for the salaries?
Ako karifa joro la alka o jo nyari le fo alka voucher dada le wo. Joro la karo.
Voucher kadi dala because ning tarak ni check all dada nga kodo withdraw bank nga sambana. Ika voucher prepare men kada GT Bank 2 copy do kada GT Bank le do ita direct to finance group.
Yes, we do provide vouchers after preparing checks. So whenever these monies were drawn, we do prepare vouchers, 2 for the banks and the other one remain in the office.
Who prepares the payment voucher?
Ako jumane ka voucher dada,
Director of finance.
the director of finance.
Do you ever prepare payment vouchers?
Ako 489 ya dada
And intena mana dada.
never.
Now, aren't the payment vouchers supposed to be raised before the checks are issued?
Ako fo atela miro to voucher sol le follow nyanta dada dan ni check all be dila.
Ka voucher be dada fay pare para na check all be.
Mako ngela ko momoy, pukela ko momoy, mako ngela ko momoy.
Na
Ikati ya umay ko to ngela ko momoy.
aka payment voucher le be dada fay pare. Okola ina check all raise.
Yes, that's correct. He used to prepare payment vouchers. When it is ready, then he issued checks. That's correct.
And do you know what he uses to calculate, or rather, who does the calculation for the salaries?
Salary kan director of
Ako
finance.
karifa joro jumale ka calculate.
Director of finance the kadida.
The director of finance used to prepare it,
Wato do be asida siwa verification ya check yo mako ye be a check.
and sometimes he take it to the CEO for submission, and who used to help him to make checking.
And then the checks would be issued in your name to cash.
Ako cheko ni kadala ni teto ala fureta ya kudo bundina.
Ha ka director to jama wato do be director of finance kata kama jama
Yes.
kan to keje.
Many occasions, yes. Sometimes they do, but many occasions, yes, in my name.
How do the staff receive their salaries? Is it through bank?
Ako do kulan ni kela joro so do nyadi le foi kata bank le kata je bang po wala.
San den GT Bank Faravenye, Reliance Bank Soma, Teachers Union, Supersonic, the rest wala kata pay table man siya back.
Yes, now many of them, or maybe 3/4 of the staff, they all go to the banks, namely the banks I named. So the pay table is very limited now. Those who came to receive their salaries at the pay table are very limited.
Do you have a copy of the list of the people who received their salary over the table?
Ako fo isi wol to so do ma molmi alam ko hani sanji kela joro tata bulo do kata bank. Fo aton a list of people.
Atembu jambara kata director of finance bull officer role.
Yes, I got the list, but it is under the custody of the director of finance in his office.
Are you able to get us a copy of that list?
Ako fo ise ma ko no our list also.
Assessor no.
Yes, it's possible.
Please add it to the list of documents that you should provide for us.
Sir,
Have you
Nikaito-
been noting them down?
Nyin kaito ni peno emen di la fengo fene ye nyini ka men na ka sa fe jere furi kana nyina furi ni tata yol samana.
Lansing register. Lansing tariff.
Yes.
List of pay table. Okay.
Would you also have access to the establishment register, as in the list of all the staff that you have?
Establishment register wakat run admin officer bull. So finding out five to request le dinner.
It's under the custody of
Admin officer.
the admin officer, unless if I make a request for him to pass it over to me.
Yes, please make a request. I'm sure they
Ako
know it's for the
issue
commission.
can
so
request
they'll
can
give it to
only
you.
sanya sa dila ya sam.
Okay.
You were also going to give me a list of the staff in your unit.
Ako fanang ila molu mi ala ko bete la unity e ol fanan tol bi listo ni dila.
The staff who collect their salaries in cash, do they sign anything for it?
Ako san mol mi ala ko kajoro ta table to wala alkejo foi kas idlal so ka damen sign ba tadi be ko dota.
Because voucher men ka prepare je mo be staff be le toka tala bala bari menu ka ta bank pour que salary ta mo tantang wala kana office pour kana penko sign je menu ka jo pete bulol be ka sign bari menu yala ko be bank ni la salary ta do katala pour ka je na officer ya sign very few wala kana.
Yes, the vouchers we have, those who are taking or receiving their monies from the table, whenever they receive their salaries, they sign. But those who are taking it from the bank, whenever they have the monies from the bank, whenever they come to office, they sign.
Okay. The GTR books that were printed by Julius Sala, do you happen to know where he got them from?
Ako wo Jimmy Salala wo kay buku ningol mi ala ko afon le aprend ako fo yalo ne yol dara min dole.
Ani malo ay bonita.
I have no idea.
Do you know whether the CEO knew?
Ali man na CEO fana nyini kala fa lomba.
No, I don't know whether the CEO have the knowledge where it was printed.
But did the CEO know before those GTR books came, or was it after they were in use that he knew that they were duplicate GTR books?
Ako atelu nga kalam tale bandan diwol kaydol bina buku ningol bina le ban fo kabira ita tala na da kalam to ko buku ningol be kere.
Yalo ni senta la nyimbuko ko onde ne nyulu buka diamu ko tege because ko tama kan nyame wala nambu kan dabula diamu nimbo buka diamu je bir nganda effort ke pour ay stop ma ke no ngam fonya ko wala.
Yeah, because I don't discuss with them much about those books. As far as I said that I was not happy about the existence of those GTRs. So really I don't discuss much about it with them.
Okay. Do you know whether there's an impress system in your unit or at the council?
Mamo ibaga kama mfore.
Sorry? Oh, do you know whether there was an impress system in use at the council? Impress, petty cash, was there a system in use at the council?
Ako fo isa kam dano jo fo impress bijele memu petit cash leti alla council to impress.
Petit kaso ha manke wati bara nala ka kere nak because nga
Yes.
sinte nga remember ko petit kaso nala ka withdraw le sinya fula.
Yes,
But bari
not all the time.
continue.
But there was a time that there was an impress because me myself I have withdrawn. There was time that I withdrawn some monies from the said impress, but not all the time.
When it was in use, can you tell us how it worked?
Ako fo isa fo no nyaadi le wala yata no nyaadi le wala ka
Ni cheko draw ya dintala ka fanya ko petit kaso le mu wala nan katata. Bandingata ninna ronga kas dim direct la gulola kan ki jama. Maybe 2 or 3 that month and
they
ngamenta.
draw a check in my name, and I was instructed to go and withdraw the said monies. But whenever I withdraw the monies, when I come, I give it directly to the Director of Finance.
Was there a payment voucher raised before that check was issued?
Ako fo eka voucher nyinda dale banda ndibe check odi lela.
Ani naka de ande bu muga kalamuda.
Even if it is prepared, I'm not aware.
Did you sign anything when you gave the cash to the Director of Finance, or did the
Ako-
Director of
ni-
Finance sign anything for you?
Ni kodo tana ngina ta foya do Director of Finance bulu. Ako fo dulale bije ka iti fa ka sign dame to.
Ani alo ito ni cheko mente ka sambade nte buka sign. Si wala ka sign ani direct of finance akamta ko kante kile draw nte mu kila lati ngata nga withdraw ngana nga dila. Na rum fenne me alon ko it's on my responsibility dan nimba dile ba sign la ngata nga dila like if it is in my receipt book they will sign a document la dina ngata bari nyimu ko dole me alon ko ito la ka cheko sign ya dinta akamta ko ni mo ki kaita kamana nana ya dila.
No, I don't sign anything. My reasons are that because this is an instruction, so I was sent by them. Although the check was drawn in my name, but they signed the check, so they just sent me to go and withdraw monies. and bring the monies to them. This is why I don't sign. But if at all it is my own operation, whenever I came, I sign it in my book, then it need to be signed. But for that one, I don't.
So I'm asking you this because when they issue a check to you in your name and there's no payment voucher raised and they don't sign anything for you and you don't sign anything for that amount, it will just look like they gave money to you.
Ako akala lafta fure dame faham wala dame sena dai wala ko bayri ifango ya fale ko ibuka ba cho safe ibuka ba cho sai ika cheko le safe bari te tole ka tara cheko ka fure ta ko do tana adu tol ka fenne sai ka ita di ko ni ko do ite ba di lay tolla alo ni te fana na dafa ko do dungi bulu dulata je mian ko fam ka sai le ka ita di ko ni ko do dile ako we me mi wala ko amuta ko ni ko do abetele bulu wala itele alo yake nyami.
So in this instance, do you have anything to show that the check they issued in your name was for council use?
Ako sa hindi na moye gini ka po sa ite yesembe duale soto ba wala efen na soto ibe megitan la memba itan la memba ba man la ko tonya le ka men fo jam ite ka ko do men tanang ike ki men na ni atanang ika du itolo bulu ando ako do nyika ta kasulla hajo le kam ako fu fenne be bul membe garanti la wala ba
ay men fo tonya le modi comme te malo ngo nyama ni ngalo ngo nyama ka be wala nyama tombi no nta kela o ninga ke fana ibe document le dina la mesa ita ndiko nga ko do dila bari nte malo ngo nyama.
Council, what you are saying is the truth, although I was not aware of that. Hadn't I knew whatever they give me or whatever monies I bring, I will sign it somewhere else, but definitely this is my oversight. You are right.
So this question I asked you, I'm also asking now in relation to the $6,224,111 and 13 bututs, which were withdrawn in your name between the period May 2018 and January 2023.
Ako akanyin kodo men fote ni ajube atata le fo ako akata kodo tipi ala ko ifangole ya withdraw nang andu
6,224,000
$111
13 bututs.
13 bututs.
Now you said that all of these you said most of these withdrawals are related to payments of monthly staff salaries, in which checks are drawn in your name to be withdrawn for the pay tables, salaries, and other sums are deposited in various banks to facilitate the salaries. Now, do you have any documentation that will show that these checks that were drawn in your name and encashed were used for council purposes?
Ako bayri ifangole ya fo jango ni kodo itele ya withdraw bank andu ya withdraw dalo menna wala mo itole ki pour ka kodo ta e bank ka bonni nam bank pour kara joro lu de do la joro ani kansula haji don ako sañ fo ite kaytle soto wala dulale bije mi ana ko ite ka sayle ka itani ko to nyale ni kodo mi ana ko ite atana membe to e cheko mi ana ka be to yala ite tata kodo bonni na ye kodo du ibulu fo to nyale ni kodo pour joro le ba wala pour kansulo la hajo le ako fot la le be bulu mi ko ya sale wala be garanti la ka itani ko tonya le
no men tul ka men sayndro wala mu ko ste ka men rube taten nyimbe me ka fota ngabe most of them abe mu salary slate jama bi je mu salary slate so salary ba jalu da maldo nyitandi nola bonde tonya ninte nga withdraw nin nata men nyanda jola Reliance Bank ka sambari Reliance le yajo men nyanda jola GT Bank yajo GT Bank men nyanda jola Trust Bank yajo di rest wala ka jo pay table but every month vawjal men more ke sign akata indicator nga balale so bari ndema glass special because comme malo ngo nyama ka nyanda ka ke wala nyama adim bin ngalo ngo nyama ni nga withdraw ba for because nde bo fana
as I said earlier on, I don't get the knowledge. This is why I was doing things offside, but really all these monies I withdraw, whenever I withdraw monies, I used to write have vouchers, the monies that is going to be Access Bank, Trust Bank and GT Bank. Those monies are all the remaining monies that is to be paid on the table. Whenever I do that, it's only the vouchers that can show. But really, there wasn't any place where I used to sign. But this is all lack of the know-how.
Now, you've given another statement dealing with the issue of the contract that you had with the council. Now, you said you registered an enterprise, Conquer Enterprise, with Aegis Chambers. Do you have your registration certificate?
Ako yenye ne tande jango bari ne ajuwe ila statement yemen di sabanyango wo yeme tande wala ko ifana ye project ko soto me alon ko eni kasulo ka do ko kele andu nata fako yo ni fenko ni register le ako fo a certificate o be bulle ba registration certificate
ha yalon to nte ni koto mala ka do ko ke nte be council le koto man kayto nte nge be da kayto men be mburu.
Yes, that company is a partnership between myself and my elder brother, but all those documents were prepared by me. I got the papers.
Because me yo sabu kayto ate akebado no mandate kayto de dano la ban nte kayto be da kayto be da be sabe ntel to ya.
The reason for that is that he cannot prepare those documents, but myself, I prepared all these documents, and I get those documents with my lawyer.
Yo andu tola ni ngake petit construction the petit contractor le muntolti ndoka ke nyame petit contractor.
This is a petty contract. Just we are petty contractors.
So nga register KMC le justice law officer every year nga
We used to register it at the KFC Justice Office every year.
And in procurement GPPA.
And Gambia Public Procurement GPPA.
In 2014.
This is since 2014.
Okay, can you provide us with a copy of the certificate of business registration, please?
Ako sign for isi copy of the normal ila certificate copy ni promo ya pro commission ni shadi no la bayaji.
Every year to carry you every year every year.
Not the one that you renew every year, the registration one.
Ako ama fako ye kameri renew sango sang ako registration wa fango register ye me ya register men. Ako ama for renewal de ako registration.
Kami ni use wala mnyende. Kabiri nga start 2020 every year kanya si bala.
Since I started 2014, this is the one, the registration.
So GPPA 2020. Sorry. Na dol kama dol fana bijan.
Mr. Sane,
Yes, ma.
so I'm just wondering how this is, because you have 3 different business registration certificates.
Ako ni ajuve business registration certificate sabali biji me anong ko imangke kilingoti.
Sabala biye bari.
Yes.
Men ni konko bayre kanyin do gol beke because wato dobe na e bullo sura sage. Wato dobe na e sura isolation.
4 different business
Ako nani le?
registration certificates.
Ha?
Ako nani le biji me mangke
Bari be mu konko bay tolete. Ibe mu konko bay enterprise kili wana tobe be bala.
Yes. All these 4 are for the same project.
Okay, so
By
actually,
Congo.
so you have one that is CD Sane, trading as CD Sane Enterprise, and that one was registered on the 25th of February 2014.
According to February 2014, and maybe you will move City Sane and City Enterprise.
Yalo nga dati wala bari biri nga
Yes,
dati wala.
that is the one I started.
Nada na afalin na because biri nga keda ni koromata ni modulu na fo nengo ko sa mbaru ngan to bondi je.
That was by myself, but when I joined my brothers and others, then I informed them that we need to change the name.
So you have another business registration certificate, the name of Onasidi Sane, and trading as Concobai Enterprise. And this one is for construction and solar installation, and is registered on the 28th of October 2015.
According to the water, I will 20 of October 2020.
2015. 28th October 2015.
28 October 2015. Akuba tome bije wala City Sane and others and Congo
By enterprise. Yala
Enterprise.
wato do go men soroda because wo sango do go man sia ba ke do go men soroda ka fo do go nyi men soro. So la installation na wala na bi bila certificate register la. Menu nyanda do go nyi ndila wala men nyita wala nyindi ko fo nga register on that. Because wo certificate da mala be dum no la je wala na to ke dawde. Yala nyi registration of da men every year sa change no le. Nika construction ke nyina ni la next year sa ke solar installation the other year welding and fabrication.
Yes, the reason of this is it depends because at the first time when I was doing construction, when I joined this installation in the project, this is the time I made this registration to indicate that now I'm making construction and installation. Because these documents can be registered at every year.
You can only register the business once. You can renew every year. But what you have are several certificates of business registration showing that you have registered a new business in these years.
Ako business o register article in there. Sa iba jela ko renewal o leka ke ka falin falin ni sango kita yeta ya mutayani. Ako pare jamme be ya okamu ta ko sign business registration jamane be because ata telephone nani ben man click. Yes, that is true.
So you have another certificate of business registration, CD Sane trading as Concobai Enterprises. And the type of business is construction, and it was registered on the 19th of August 2019. Then you have another certificate of business registration, and this one has in brackets altered for change of business name. And it's CD Sane trading as Concobai Enterprises. Type of business, goods and services, stroke construction, and is registered on the 14th of September 2022.
Akonye fana kita certificate do timi ala ko yari sa wato mina wole 14th of September 2022.
Now, which office have you been getting these certificates from? Which office have you been getting these certificates from? Which particular office?
KMC office, Justice.
Justice at the KMC.
At KMC.
At KMC. Yalo meya sabu nteto appear je.
The reason why my names appear there.
Brimbe account yella bank le sabu.
When I was opening the account at the bank, this is the reason why.
Because being left account yella Concobai Enterprise ye ko are possible ni ka keno la phone nga tin number samba.
This, when I told them that I give them the name of the company, they said, no, that cannot be possible without a TIN number. I have to present the TIN number.
So, Birindara Concobai TIN number nyini.
When I went to find the Concobai TIN number,
TIN number nga samba.
I was requested to bring my own TIN number.
So, ngamari will incorporate yage CD Sane trading as Concobai Enterprise because Concobai na fansung TIN number le mubari ndela TIN number akamta ko yewole use je. Ndefo nga query la.
This is why my name appeared there as CD Sane and Concobai Enterprise because normally my TIN number was the one which they use at the bank.
Mr. Sane,
yeah?
I'm not quite sure I follow what you're saying because your certificate of business registration is separate from your TIN, it's separate from your bank account, and my question is in relation to how it is that you have the same business registered 5 different ways as an enterprise. So it's not like it's a company. It's you trading as these enterprises, and they're registered every few years, not renewed. There's no change of, there's no amendment only of, the type of business. These are new certificates every few years.
Okay, maybe me aka register da me wala ka dol mala fala o nyama dol ka renew da fla renew walo da malaka so ni dol ka register newly dol buga ma dol mala fala o
Maybe this will happen at the office where they usually issue this, because for our intention is for renewal, but when they are now registering, every year they register well. We were not
I'll ask
aware
the
of that.
secretary to assist us to get copies of these, and then we can deal with them later, but after the sitting. Commissioners, I don't know whether you have any questions. I don't know whether you have questions for the witness.
Do you have questions?
Mr. Sani, you said the market tickets were printed outside of GPCC or whatever. Was not printed by the government printer. Do you know who printed it?
Ako yenye nefogo war sitol mi alongo alkame use conference center kara sitol mi alongo man print Gambia printing ka print dame GPBA. Ako but for yalo ne ada dame.
hani malo ya bondi dame
No, I don't know where it came from.
Okay. Do you, when you know when you are working in an office and there is something that you want in the office, you have to declare your interest that you would want to bid for such contracts. Do you have that in Mansa Konko?
no atije yalo nyin contract ko kabila fil no comme nga nyame aliante debe council do gola
No, it's not there, but as I said earlier on, I am an employee of the council.
bring contract ko finza ntanga moyle because director of planning will inform bring ante inform nga
Whenever there is a contract and it came to my knowledge, as far as I was informed by the director of finance.
yo nga bring nga ni director of planning bring nga ni nga aya
That's the director of planning.
bring nga ni nga aya explain ni nga ko nyin contract ko nyin man wara bage nga nsa fo non ko do mai pour apply bank.
Then when he informed me, when I asked him, he informed me, I said, well, this is a minor project. I can talk to my brother so that he can apply.
So bring nga ko nya ko okay then nga fo where apply.
Then he agreed to say, okay. Then I talked to my brother, he applied.
O fango atele nyanda na la atele la nomba nyanda dila ni pour kana testify jambari so unfortunate kabinga la inquiry team nada LR argument man sanko era kalsul the same night leng ate banda.
It should be him who should appear here to come and testify. But this is very unfortunate. When the investigators came there, it happened that he was deceased.
Because I tried jani to kana besa sa for almost 1 month. Jani kinyi kisi lalmen na reje jani wol kana yatra ta besa sa no.
Before the investigators came there, it happened he was sick on bed.
So one night Wednesday, if it was around 8 o'clock at night, then the following day, Somanda, 4 o'clock, like at a bundle of Tanoto.
A bundle of time.
A bundle of Tanoto.
It
So,
happens they came on a day Wednesday, then the following day, Thursday, it happens he was deceased at the hospital.
Just a second. Let me save him the trouble of explaining all of these things. My question was, do the council have a form that you should declare your interest in anything that they are doing, where it concerns you, where you have an interest, conflict of interest?
hani for mortgage.
No,
we
we don't have that form therein.
Okay. So it means also that people who are not within the council will not be able to apply for certain contracts because you were handpicked to apply for this contract.
Ako sa weme itandi wala mamuta ko mo dolu me ala wala mantra al kono council ko no je. Ibaje la ko wolte nyanto so la pour ye do ko ringol so no bayri atol bije albe do ko la council andu al ka do ku do patake. So amunta ko al ka wala kale goldi nano je ka pour ye do ko ke.
Ha asikelo la kumo toñale mu because comme nte council bari council e imagine dintela dum ko roma wala bari tarje wala apply bari toña ntela kalamuto wala atina adre fana ya kalamuta pour ay na apply ay même fois toñale because ni mo la kalamuta o nyama ite pare la pour kana ka fenke
That is very true. What you have said, that is true. But as I said earlier on, my brother was the one who was handling this contract. But although my name appears therein and I'm a staff of the council, but this was for my brother specifically. But what I have said is the truth. Because if people outside are aware, they will know that everything that we are doing is for the council itself. It cannot go out for the public. That is the truth.
So that means you have an insider knowledge of what is possible to a possible contract that will come your way.
Akosanya amuta ko ite olongo sodole ko afuna nyonya do ni betala ye me ala go wo bina itela karo.
Yalan jamaje ma nyi do ko because council wati ka do ko sodole bari ntana mana dogu ntana mana fem fonda brode ka fay ko safe comme nying ngajela ma wara ba ke dron kamole mun dron ani sogawe wala na biringa fay akonye ko mba safe la ka ko tra ya safe.
Yes, I was aware of many projects because council they used to have many projects, but I have never tell them or informed them that I need to give my brother a project because as this one I realized that it was just a minor project, just toilets and a sockaway. This is why I talked to him and he agreed. Then I talked to my brother who eventually carried on the works.
My other further question is, in your personal bank statements, there are so many names of people depositing funds into your account. Do you know Alaji Sedi?
Intel account or many because they be daming namo le menu be banta mo jama bije ikajigi intalaji.
For me personally, my accounts, as I have some of my relatives who are not in the country, they are living abroad. They trust me, and I am the only person who was using the accounts, and that is why they all rely on my accounts. They used to send money to my accounts for me to do job for them.
Please, the explanation is so long. My question is, who is Alaji Sedi? Do you know Alaji Sedi?
Alaji Sedi. Alaji Sedi. No ma Alaji Sedi remember.
No, I don't know Alaji.
Okay. Do you know what's his name? Fabakari Jame?
Yes, right now I'm constructing or erecting his house.
Okay, and that's where he's paying you money from?
Yes, he used to pay money to my account.
Now, if I give you Alaji Sedi's phone number, would you know who Alaji Sedi is?
Alaji Sedi la number dila. Ibala na juana Alaji Sedi ba. Hakilo ba mano la ba.
Na number ni ninga call because askeno moy koro dia program ma Alaji Sedi remember but askeno moy koro dia pro ajon account.
I don't know personally who is that Alaji Sedi, but it may be possible for somebody to give him money to send it to my account.
But this is cash deposit.
Akonyi mukodo di mano ka adungi bulu cash deposit.
Abunte bulu la kono. Alaji Sedi kodo dumbulo kono.
Cash deposit.
Anna account on.
Sajo Fofana?
Ako Sajo Fofana do you London?
Sajo Fofana.
Do you know him?
Sajo Fofana is from Sankuya.
Sajo Fofana London ba?
Sajo Fofana ngalo na bota Sankuya.
Yes, I do. He's from Sankuya.
Is he working with the council?
Sajo Fofana. And Sajo Fofana do mantra era council.
What about Fatou Ndiaye?
Ako Fatou Ndiaye do you London?
Fatou Ndiaye Sankuya ko la ma fana de bara mantra do ko era council.
Yes, I knew her and she's from Sankuya, but she's not working at the council.
Jamandong?
Jama?
Ndong.
Jamandong. Jamandong mo fana lo.
I don't know that Jamandong.
The list can go on and on and on. It shows the different people who are paying cash into your account.
Akamunda ko mo Jamalem, hana amanda wala mo Jamalem yalla ko kudole jo directly tela ba cash.
Ha, yalla tengo wala phone. Nte business olla.
As I said earlier on, I'm doing business.
business or la mol ka korojo na account to different mode.
People use
don't phone korojo do ka cemento sa ko ka cemento bana wafi.
People used to send monies to my account. One of them even bought cement.
Ha ka cemento sa mo do ka tubabu do ka jang do kila mol call nan jang.
Some are from Europe, some are from here.
Maybe by the end of your testimony, we will list down the people that pays money into your account
Okay.
and the amount of monies that they have paid.
Okay.
But don't you think mixing your business account whilst you are working for the council was hazardous, meaning it could be confusing, it could land you into
No inte kay na business inte mo la personal account and in the business account. Council has nothing to do with that. Inte na mana wol ni council la programme fenn du ñoo ko no.
For me, my personal business account, council have nothing to do with that because it have no link with council.
Na manake.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Zan.
Na. Na.
Sosani,
Yes.
who signed the contract?
Ako contract ko jumala sign.
Contract konte nga sign kay to ba.
I personally signed.
I'm sorry for the death of your brother, but this contract is binding and it is your responsibility.
Ako foke ko tomale ma fo juma
Do you understand? Okay, so the contract, you executed the contract and you signed the contract. So it is your project. Do you understand?
All right, sir.
Okay.
All right, sir.
Now, first of all, how many of you bidded for the contract?
Anyway, malon because I bring ate asabe ate da mal alo ate abanken dia bag ka bring ate asabe ate le kataji jama ate le kata.
Although I don't know when it was written, he was the one going there up and down.
Mala ni mo jelle abide.
I don't know what was.
You don't know who bidded for the contract?
No, bring ate fengala da yente kumandi ja ate fongo la fonte akonje ko to ya sign to ya laji.
He was the one who informed me that he signed this by my name.
Now, I'm not going back to the conflict of interest because when it is contracting, when there's a conflict of interest, it means that you are an insider. So you have all the information. It puts you relatively at a very advantageous position for you to win. That's normal.
Ah, o muto nyare.
All right. Okay. Now, when you look at the contract,
Okay.
there are certain things I want you to clarify. When it comes to contract duration, do you have a copy of the contract?
Contract document.
Because when it comes to contract duration 3.1, the consultancy duration is slated for 3 days. What does that mean? From the day of agreement is signed. I just need you to clarify that because it confuses me.
3 days.
The consultancy duration is slated for 3 days from the day the agreement is signed. What does that mean?
Ngame direct of finance related to Jamilo because ngame I told you bring do ko be kata fa banda. It all do ko be cheka it all kata je ka jube.
I think that is from the director of finance because when the work is completed, there are the people who go to the site to make a survey.
No. When it comes to duration, does that mean that you're supposed to do the job in 3 days?
No,
maybe as what you signed.
Na skema nyimbe kala error DJ, but 3 days you go mangeola.
I think there is an error.
Almost 3
But it will-
2.5 months.
It will be more than 3 days.
I think 3 days.
So it was an error.
Maybe I'll kala
I think it is
error.
an error.
Okay. Were you given a design?
Ako for a design on your deal.
Membe do kula hani man design on yindi.
No, I was not.
I na brother in samba site le do bring wa jube. Wenda fana ko manda ko ngata jembe da ngai jube. Then ate I explain the kamo nyanda do kula nyame. Kama kanya ndim fula lam tu in toilet lam ani sogowe. Then I nyitandi na je wala nyama ten
We were taken to the site to identify, but no plan was issued or.
Sama plan of dintala de. Na fana dinna brother bara ma dintala.
So how did
Maybe
you
he give it to my brother, but not myself.
all right. How did you come up with a cost?
Ako sa
No, yeah,
nangamo ni ite ya hay manyat le foi nata ko ni nangamo lo. Menyata jola.
No, it only bill of quantity didn't brother. Come and come on, you only proposed.
The bill of quantity was given to my brother.
Come on, Menyata consolate, only over end. Then where bid well.
He was told the type of toilet that should be constructed. That is where
Ali nyini ka ro fon atle nyanta na jam because nyale mara number dealer is not alive wala na mara number dinga na number kiji because not the for modo in down
he's supposed
but
to
wole kuja mata
the
man
very person who's supposed to be here, but because of his disease, so this is why I gave them my number for me to come and answer, but he was the one who run all these projects.
So in other words, you have no responsibility after signing the contract.
I'm not going to take my responsibility.
no not responsibility tala because ndanga sign
Yes, I cannot. I take the responsibility because I do sign.
ndanga sign
I'm the
Do you
one who
know that
signed.
there is a difference between the name of the company in the contract and your registration?
Akoni ajuwe kusa ba fele men killing de contract ko to project ko to ani contract ko ani mental business odi. Ako kusa wala men killing.
This one is by Conco something, the other one is by Combo.
no
Different.
okay o combo member bara ten KMC do mistake ko nga ko muso ne me ya print I KOMB o ay wala
This is a mistake from
find
the
mistake
KMC.
wala keji
I informed the person who printed it that this is an
combo
error.
is an error
By Combo Enterprise.
ay combo la keji ha combo man ko nga find nga yemen sa ila spelling man ko rek
But you use it as legal tender.
Ako bari me on
ya
table.
me ni kay do print ate o documento ni ngay wala jube ay ni kay do de dala that document dum ada man change because nga tale already KMC
But they should have changed it. You knew.
Ako
What
ite
is it?
akalam tale nyantale
ha
ka
ba
fa.
ba this ni wal me nga kede yo change konko la keji instead of combo ya kede konko because ni kay most of even this year ndo bir me ni register ante man na nga muso ko jande KMC nga ko do ni sennang modo la receive je wala sennang so
This was from the KMC.
something
Because
happened
even this year, the renewal, I did not claim. I called the lady who did this.
even the numbers member fengo bala muso error ke all the numbers are different
Wait, can I hold on? Is it correct to give a contract, this is my registration, and in the contract, an other company's name appear? Is that correct?
it's not correct
Very well.
This is where
it's a mistake it's a mistake
it's a mistake.
yes
Okay. The rest Honorable Joanna have dealt with it. Thank you.
Mr. San,
na
you've told the commission that is this brother that was taking responsibility of this contract, right? But what you said in your statement, dated the 17th of October 2023, said something very different. Paragraph 2 of your statement, which you wrote, and you have adopted that statement as your evidence to this commission. You said, and let me read and remind you what you said, that in 2021, I remember that the Director of Planning, Lamin L.M. Mare of Mansakonko Area Council, informed me that there was an available contract for the construction of public toilets and soccerways at the Jara Soma car park, and the council was looking for competent businesses. I engaged the Director of Planning, Lamin L.M. Mari, about the project, and he outlined the plans for the said contract, upon which I visited the site. You visited the site to assess the required works and further submitted a quotation amounting to 174,735. Now my question is, at what point was your brother engaged in these transactions?
okay yaron tele diamo do nga fo jelen ko side ni atata visit len defana tata visit side ni tele folo tata visit then after na be tata jenga je jube so ndebe do golla masakunda ndebe kay ni do ni contract do
But
gol
Mr.
keno
Sane, you have earlier told us that you did not participate in any of this. It was your
no
brother.
ma nga fo jannen ko ndata defon tata side jube ni mar then after nga fo le kon tata side jube le broda fana tata side jube
I have said that I personally went to the site, and my brother too went to the site. I have said that earlier.
then bidi nga be jube fo pareta
After
ate
six,
continue na do gol
I then went ahead with my work.
but ni documento be intele documento be de da
But as for the documents, I was the very person who prepared all these documents.
Now, you said further in that statement, that statement, you said, afterwards, I was successfully awarded the contract as the most responsive contractor according to the Director of Planning. And this contract was implemented as per the contract agreement.
Yes.
You said.
Yes,
you
I said that, yes.
And you stand by that too?
Yes, I stand by
for
that.
It, for it being the true situation?
Yes, because me yo sabu, document will be used kanje, intere document on sign, and intere document will be suffered intere toyal on my name. So ning document will be the facility da unyama. But implementation and everything will only be taman.
Yes, I agree that all these documents were prepared by me.
I accept that I'm responsible.
I accept that I'm responsible, but all the implementation was done by the brother.
And the brother in the Korea attending apply, no one attended apply.
Because of
Now, how many checks were issued to you?
I go check the dealer.
Payment to get a sinafula. Payment to get a sinafula.
Twice.
You were paid.
Twice, yes.
So
First
you said,
payment and
you
second
said,
payment. Huh?
you said something different in your statement.
Right.
You said the full payment of the contract was made in 3 installments, and now you are telling us.
No, maybe as you know, the oversight is an error.
Mistake.
Yeah.
It's a
Maybe
mistake.
not oversight is a mistake. Yes. Yes.
Which of the banks did they issue the check for? Which of the banks?
Nga kodo nyinta trust bank le.
All of the checks are trust banks.
Full be trust bank le ma. Check all be trust bank.
And when we check the trust bank statements, we will see your name.
Yes, then at do better. When to jale.
Council.
I don't have any further questions. I don't know there. And it's
We will continue tomorrow.
yes.
Yes. I think so.
Sorry, I just want to return the witnesses'
original.
documents.
We may rise, so we'll see you tomorrow.
All right.
Mic test, mic test, mic test.
woni lawol folo ko Gambia do Qcell addanon ko brandirede international bundles be jonnodiri juude e Orange kanyum e Free Senegal joni ida wawi noddude